Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
What broke him down? Was it just the body punching? I was hitting him with body punching. I heard him actually, he was crying in there.
And you're listening to the voice of the people.
You're saying that Gibbs was crying when you hit him? When did that happen? And perhaps the fourth round on.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
So you knew you had him by that time. Absolutely, but I knew you were tough and taking those punches.
Production.
Making women gestures.
Let's go, champ. It's the champ. Keep saying the champ. With the same champ.
It's the champ, baby. TBV. We are back with another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio, and today is going to be a very special on-demand episode brought to you by our very own Patreon family, the one and only Larry from San Francisco. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Larry took it upon himself to decide that he wanted to do his own version of Fighter of the Year. So he's going to give you his top 10, and we're going to debate that. We're going to go back and forth. We're going to let you know what we feel about his take and basically give you our picks. If this is something that you're interested in, something that you want to participate, well, then you know the number, 1-425-569-5241. And all our international callers, don't forget to add Nestor Gibbs on Skype. We're going to be talking a lot of boxing. Fighters of the Year, we got Andre Ward, Carl Frampton. Is Jamal Charlo? Does he belong there? What about Vasil Lomachenko? Can't forget Joe Smith Jr. You know how good he did this year. What about good old Manny Pacquiao? He still holds that win over Timothy Bradley and the undefeated, or once undefeated, Jesse Vargas. Listen, without any further ado, a lot of hosts on tonight, so let's get on out to all locations. We're going to head on over to the Sunshine State. Boxing MD, what's going on, brother? I know you want to sit in on this. We're going to head on over to the Sunshine State. Boxing MD, what's going on?
Is that a fair statement to make? You have to be honest with yourself. Well, I am happy to be back from a little Christmas vacation, back to talk boxing and Fighter of the Year, and I appreciate it, Larry, for purchasing this on demand, because this is a topic that everybody wants. Everybody always talks about pound for pound Fighter of the Year, and this is a hardcore boxing topic. So thanks, Larry.
For sure. Let's get on over to New Jersey. Well, look at that. New Jersey's not even around. That's why you could always count on one person.
There'll be nothing but smooth sailing.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Yeah, come on, don't be clowning on Enrique. You know New Jersey's pretty. New Jersey is like a wonderful girl that you call because you know when she does come through, it's going to be a good time. I'm the girl that you call because no way, that's getting weird. It's getting weird. I'm glad that Larry's here.
Fumbalaya for sure.
My bad. I'm really excited that Larry's here though, and I really encourage everybody who's listening to buy an on-demand show just like Larry did, and make sure you get it to where you're able to contribute like this. This is awesome having Larry here. I'm so excited. Like, this is great. Look at Larry. He looks good back there. He doesn't have a background, so I don't want anybody to give him grief about it, though, because Larry's family here, and we take care of family.
Yo, he's on site, man. I think he's like at work, or he's probably at the office now. He's been jumping in now. But enough. Well, there goes the guy from the Garden State.
What's up, man? Yeah, I just want to say I saw fight two.
Stay focused. Stay working my day.
So it's not two.
If it comes to fight, then I'm not too far, man.
I saw fight two.
I think you accurate.
It's been a minute, Patty May. What's up, Larry? What's up, MD? What's up, Calderon? What's up, the Boxing Voice? And of course, what's up, Nestor Gibbs? Yeah, I saw this list, 10 fighters. I compressed it down on my own, but I have one on this top 3 that I agree with. Can't wait to hear what you guys think.
Well, without further ado, let's turn it over to none other than Larry from San Francisco himself to introduce his topic. And Larry, I really want to know what was it about this topic that made you do it? I mean, I'm pretty sure you could find articles and or content on this all over the net.
Well, what's up, Nest? Well, first of all, big up to the Boxing Voice, host and callers and listeners alike. I'm fired up to do this show. And yes, it's Fighter of the Year. That show makes itself. I did know there'd be a lot of different opinions. People like A fighter or B fighter. So I wanted to be the one during the time of year where all the pundits outlets get together and name their Fighter of the Year. I wanted to start the conversation. We're on the home of Boxing Talk, the Boxing Voice, and see what y'all think and see what the people think, and let's have a good old time.
All right, so how do you propose we get it started? I know you sent me over a list, but I'm pretty sure you have some sort of direction that you want to take with this one. So really, you should just take it away, because our job is to kind of chime in on what you put before us.
So I think I have an idea. Maybe he goes to number 10, and then we all discuss number 10 and then so forth, instead of him running down the list.
Well, I mean, what if he comes across a guy who we maybe have as number one? Higher than that, true to say we have him as one? Because I just saw his list, and obviously my number one's not going to be the same as his.
Well, guys, here, I'm sorry to play moderator, but this is what I do. So Larry did send us over an order of how he did like the show to go. And he did mention that his
emails.
That's right.
Yeah, and
that's right.
He did mention that the list does count down from top 10, and that his numbers 10 through 6 are mostly honorable mentions. So Larry, how about you start at number 10, work your way down the list, and just say them all in order real quick. At the end, we'll give you our comments about who are those 5 people in your honorable mention. So start from 10 and work down to 6.
Give Calderon an applause for breaking it down.
All right, no, that'll work. Let's get to it.
Take
Start
it away,
with number 10. All right, number 10, IBF heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua. 3 fights, 3 stupendous knockouts. And if you're that again next year, 2017 Fighter of the Year will crown itself. Number 9, WBC 118-pound champ Shinsuke Yamanaka. Now, before y'all start hating on the lower weight classes, I encourage you, check out Yamanaka versus Moreno, because it might just be Fighter of the Year. Number 8, Joe Smith Jr. Smith came out of nowhere to knock Fanfare out, then hit Bernard Hopkins so hard he sprained his ankle. Number 7, pound for pound king, Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. Chocolatito moved to his 4th weight class and dropped bombs on a bigger man who fought there his entire career. Don't get me wrong, gave about as good as he got, but at the end of the day was simply the next victim. Round up the honorable mentions. Number 6, IBF junior middleweight champ Jamal Charlo. After a devastating display of power versus J-Rock, I am sure Canelo will call any minute looking for that fight.
All right, guys, who wants to go first? Let's start with Casual, MD, and then Ness.
Right. So I'll start same thing. So we stopped at 5. So Anthony Joshua, to me, I won't give him number 10. I think he's rated top 5. Yeah, 10 is kind of high. So I'll move on from that to WBC 118-pound titleist Shinsuke Yamanaka. You know, my name is Casual, so I don't even know that division. Joe Smith Jr. beat Fanfare, beat B-Hop. He's a great honorable mention. He would be more like my number 10. Pound for pound, King Roman Gonzalez Chocolatito. I think he's good at number 7. Quadras did put it on him. I think, well, yeah, that's number 7. All right. Jamel Charlo, he's low. He's like my top 5 for Fight of the Year. And then, yeah, and then number 5, guy said Manny Pacquiao for the 3rd time. He should be like number 6, number 7, somewhere in there. But Manny Pacquiao's a great champion. He had a long career, and he's tapering off, and he needs to give us a good fight, right? So yeah, you have a good list, but yeah, I'll give you my casual thought.
Well, everybody, since Casual kind of jumped the gun on me, I actually hadn't got to that. But yeah, number 5 is the great Manny Pacquiao for whooping on Tim Bradley for the 3rd time. Still the only man ever to do it, by the way. And then came back and beat the bigger, stronger, and younger Jesse Vargas in impressive fashion as well. I'll say this.
I just want to, sorry, I don't want to spoil it. Let's stick to, we're recapping this 10 through 6, then we'll get into your number 5, because that is a good number 5, and I really am excited to have you explain it out to everybody else. But MD, what do you think about his list from 10 to 6 in terms of an honorable mention of people who didn't quite make the cut?
Well, I mean, I don't think I'd have Roman Gonzalez in the top 10 because I don't think he looked that good in his one performance that I saw him on TV, maybe 2, but Quadras kind of gave him a good fight. And I think the pound-for-pound number 1 fighter shouldn't give him a good fight. I know Quadras is no bum, but, like, I don't know. Just not that I'm impressed. Joshua, I think you could have in the top 10. I don't know exactly where. I'm ignorant of whatever, the Asian guy. And obviously, you'll hear my top 5, but I have Joe Smith much higher. I have Joe Smith much above people like Andre Ward and even Charlo. So –
I mean, you would, though.
Nah, that's cool.
I mean, I'll get more into my fighter of the year, but Andre Ward beat Brand, and a lot of people like myself thought he lost to his only formidable foe, which is Kovalev. So based on that, how could I have him in my top 10 fighter of the year?
Steven, how about you, good friend? What do you think about that top 5 so far? Top 5, top 4, all because of casual.
Well, it's the bottom 5 because they're 10 through 6, whatever. Okay, so I like that he included, that he gives an honorable mention shout out to Shinsuke Yamanaka, because I did think that was pretty cool when I had heard news about his stunning win over Moreno. It wasn't stunning that it wasn't expected. Moreno has been around the division for a while, or around the lower weight classes for a while, but it definitely proved that Yamanaka is still holding it down. So I think he does deserve honorable mention, but again, that's a weight class that's not all that exciting right now. 118 for me. My favorite guys who were around like 122 are kind of moving up to 126 and 130. Joe Smith Jr., I think that he does have an argument to be higher on the list, but I love that he is honorable mentioned as well. All in all, it's pretty good so far. I like it. I like where this is going because so many fighters are left.
I guess I have to be the bad guy. I guess I got to be the fucking bad guy. Nobody wants to, take a shot at poor Larry because he paid for the show or whatever. But Anthony Joshua doesn't deserve to be on the fucking top 10 list for fighter of the year. Right? When you think of fighter of the year, I guess right off the bat, criteria has to be, what have you done this year? So to everybody watching, what have you done this year? How many times have you hit that thumbs up button for all the number of episodes we've done? So while you're thinking, hit it. But what has Anthony Joshua done this year? Enrique?
Anthony Joshua, he gained an IBF belt, right, from Chris Martin, right?
Charles
Martin. So he's a champion.
I love him.
So he knocked out a champion, won the belt, moves on, fights Eric Molina, who gave Deontay Wilder a 12-round fight, right? And he controlled that entire ring up and down and displayed everything that you could possibly display as a heavyweight champion, and ended that fight in 2 rounds. So both fights this year will end early and was stopped early, and he just looked great. He looks like a champion.
Okay. Well, he won 7 rounds with Brazil, but I think considering he dispatched of his opponents with ease, 3 of them, I think he definitely deserves top 10. I mean, it's not only your level of competition, it's how you perform with them.
How you perform, how you control.
Okay, so if it's not the level of competition, how could it solely be how you perform when how you perform indicates depending on the pop?
Well, for example, the way that he tore through Eric Molina has to be impressive because Wilder went 9 rounds or whatever and got touched up. So you have to apply you have to apply level of difficulty risk with how they performed. that's fighter of the year, right? There's a lot of different things you could factor in. So that's I don't have him in my top 5, but
my argument,
top 10 is reasonable.
My argument is if most guys that are in this list have fought 2 or 3 times, and Joshua is Charles Martin and Dominic Brazil, or Eric Molina in Brazil is the name.
It's Charles Martin, Dominic Brazil, and Eric Molina.
Eric Molina, and Ness, I think you safely to say he's the second best Wilder opponent.
Listen, it's not about Wilder. You got to compare.
Yes, it is. He rips through him.
Listen, man, MD, relax. It's about comparing what Joshua did to the other 9 fighters on the list, not to Deontay Wilder, because Wilder's not on this list. He didn't.
All right, comparing to Ward then.
He didn't make the
comparing
cut.
to Ward then.
Okay, let's compare him to Ward. Ward has a win over a pound-for-pound fighter.
But does he, though, when the public considers Kovalev the winner?
But you are not the public.
But the public decides fighter of the year, right?
So this is of the public.
Yeah, so fighter of the year is an award that the people who you consider hipster or hardcores get to decide that, right?
I don't know. You're making this statement as if Ward doesn't have a contingency of people that believe he won the fight. Just because the
about 30%.
And that is okay. Whatever your statistic is, which you're pulling out of your ass, it still doesn't defeat.
Steven, is my statistic verified?
Hey guys, circle back. We're getting away from the point. We still got more on the list to go. And plus, it's an honorable mention. Larry's not saying that Anthony Joshua is the fighter of the year.
This is what MD does. You know, he's like
I'm comparing his resume to Ward's this year, and I'm saying that his resume maybe looks favorable over his. That's what I'm saying.
But you can't compare it to Ward's. Only a person who wants to be negative would do that, so that you can discredit Ward's win over Kovalev.
This is Ness's new form of arguing from now on. You're negative if you disagree with him.
Okay. So a win over Kovalev doesn't trump something over Brazil.
He didn't beat him.
On whose card? Because the judges.
The people's card. The people have spoken.
The judges seen it that way. Moving on. The same thing for Yamanaka. I mean, a win over Moreno. Abner Mars did that years ago. And I think his name is Libridis or something like that.
But that's part of what made Abner modest. So yeah, you got to still give him credit for that even now, because it's not like Moreno fell off the face of the earth and only researched for this fight. Like Moreno was still fighting top guys.
Again,
putting on top performances.
My point is, these guys have multiple fights, so you have to use them both. So, you know, for Yamanaka, he's got one decent fight. Right, where a guy like Charlo has 2 good fights, right? Because he has the Austin Trout win, and then he has, the win over the heavily touted prospect / contender. Everyone said he was ducking, and then you can factor in MD's criteria, which is performance, the way that he did it. So I'm just saying, there's guys out there that have 2 better wins. For instance, Manny Pacquiao, like we brought up already, he beat a pound-for-pound fighter in Timothy Bradley. Then he beat a once before beaten, champion in Jesse Vargas. But other than Joshua and Yamanaka, I don't have any issues so far with those names. I mean, especially being honorable mentions. I think Charlo deserves to be higher based on an Austin Trout win.
What about Gonzalez?
Yeah, Gonzalez is another issue for me too, because Cuadras. It's like I said it when we did the post fight. It's like, he's supposed to be pound for pound, and he got touched up a lot. Like, look at the picture on the thumbnail.
That's fucked up, man. If Terrence Crawford went up in weight, beat Keith Thurman, but got scratched up a bit, you be talking about how the shit.
But this ain't scratched up. This ain't.
Relax with that. Quadras ain't Keith Thurman. Come on, relax with that.
And he this ain't scratched up, bro. Look at the thumbnail. That's all you got to do. Go ahead, Larry.
Okay, Larry, if we're gonna start going into your number 5 and down. I say at this point,
hold up real quick. Let me double back real fast. Ness, somewhat agree with some of your points. I agree that Charlo and Pacquiao had more impressive years than Yamanaka and Joshua, and that's why they're ranked above them. They're appropriately where they're supposed to be. But on Joshua came in the year hype prospect, knocked out impressively 3 guys, and ended the year as a top shelf contender for the contender anyone else's next year to prove whether or not he's going to be that. I think if you think about who in 2016 knocked out 3 people impressively, that list is short. Is Dominic Brazil and Charles Martin and Molina, are they top 10 heavyweights? No, and I'll be the first to admit that. But the manner in which he did it and the fact that it was his 16th, 17th, and 18th win. Look at Tyson Fury's opponents at 16, 17, and 18. Look at Deontay Wilder's opponents at 16, 17, and 18. The better fighters can beat the better fighters earlier in their career. Joshua is fighting a better group of competition than all of the heavyweights did, and that's why he's number 10, honorable mention on my list.
Yo, that coin was from me because I thought you did a really great job explaining that, Larry. Way to go.
And with that said, can we jump to the bottom 5?
Go right ahead.
All right. So,
if you want, do a little bit of explaining after each one. Still go through all of them, and then we'll give our reaction because we do want to make room for callers. Time for callers.
Yeah, I definitely want time for callers. That's the heart of the show. No, Pacquiao's number 5. I said before, he beat Tim Bradley 3 times. The 3rd time was this year. Tim Bradley's a top 10 pound-for-pound fighter. That means something. And then he whooped on Jesse Vargas, who's at the shallow end of the welterweight top 10, but is still there. And it was an impressive victory. I think Vargas may have won 2 or 3 rounds. Number 5, I think, is an appropriate rank for Pacquiao. And I'll say this. If his name was Carl Frampton, he would get Fighter of the Year consideration for that, for the 2 degrees. Moving on, number 4 is Carl Frampton. The Jackal's the only one on the list who has victories over 2 guys with belts. So don't get me wrong. It was Scott Quigg at 122 and Santa Cruz at 126. And he won those fights legitimately, and you can't take anything away from him. But this is Fighter of the Year that we're talking about. Neither victory was dominant or all that impressive. He showed skill because he's got that. And I'm not saying he's not a great fighter, but I need more out of my Fighter of the Year. I need Fighter of the Year moments. I need Fighter of the Year flash. I need something that makes me say, you know what, that's the guy. And the last thing I'll say about that, how good is Scott Quigg, and what are you basing that on? Number 3, Andre Ward. On paper, Ward is actually the slam dunk Fighter of the Year. He went 3-0 against guys with a combined record of 78-1, including the crusher Sergey Kovalev. The problem, though, is that victory over Kovalev.
Wait, I think he only went 2-0. I'm pretty sure he only fought 2 times this year.
Who he did? Brand.
He did fight 3 times this year, and he fought in order.
Barrera, Brand, and Kovalev.
Barrera, Brand, and Kovalev. He's right. March, August, and then November.
So you got to give him credit. That is 3 fights. That is 3 wins. And on paper, those are good records there. And the Barrera win looks even better now coming off his latest win against Shabransky. However, too much controversy in that Kovalev fight. I scored it for Kovalev, 114, 113. I'm not quite as indignant as MD is about it, but I do think Kovalev won that fight. I think it's a shame that he left that fight without belts. But it is what it is. You got to give him credit because he was declared the winner. Had it been a convincing unanimous decision, Ward would be my Fighter of the Year, but it wasn't. My runner-up for 2016 Fighter of the Year is Terrence Bud Crawford. Crawford turned a 60-40 fight with Victor Postal in 99-1, dominating the entire fight from the 3rd round on, showing lateral movement and quickness, hand speed, all those things in that fight. Sandwiched around that were beatdowns of Hank Lundy and John Molina. Not great fighters, but definitely tough guys. Had Crawford taken just a little risk and gone for the knockout against Postal, even just gone for it, even if he didn't get it, he'd be my Fighter of the Year. But he didn't. Therefore, 2016 Fighter of the Year, Vasily Lomachenko. Lomachenko followed a spectacular 5th round knockout of Rocky Martinez with a masterpiece against Nicholas Walters, a fighter who several callers and hosts on this very show thought had a chance to win. He barely had a chance to win 1 round. Because of the skill, the technical expertise, and the dominance that Lomachenko displayed on a level that no one else displayed when you take those 3 things into consideration, Vasily Lomachenko, my 2016 fighter of the year.
I like it. Listen, Bud is ranked pretty high. You got him rated pretty high as a runner-up. I could see everybody agreeing with you with the Ward thing without a doubt. I mean, because that win is essentially tainted. But Lomachenko, #1. I don't think I could give him that, man. I mean, Rocky Martinez, you kidding me? Mikey Garcia beat this dude like 4 years ago when Garcia wanted to like step into Rocky Martinez's weight division. Remember, it wasn't even like Martinez was already in the division. He was like moving up and still beat this dude a long time ago.
So who would you take out and who would you keep in his top 5?
Who would I take out? Who would I keep? Top 5. Now remember, he said runner-up. He used specific words. I'm a literal man, so I like runner-up, which means that they're not in. You know, they're just considerations. They're just like the rest of the other 10. So you don't really have to take anyone out. But if you wanted to, man, I'd agree with you because Ward's win is tainted. Just take him out the way they've clearly taken out Kovalev. But who could you put him in there? Like who could be replace? Who could replace?
Well, my fighter of the year is not in his top 5, so I can tell you one.
Oh, well, there you go. You're the man with the plan. I would have definitely replaced Vasyl Lomachenko with fucking Carl Frampton. I love his version of what Frampton did or didn't do, but let's not forget Frampton won the title over Scott Quigg at 122. Okay, then and that win, he went to Scott Quigg's hometown, then moved up 4 pounds and came to New York City, essentially Leo Santa Cruz's ground, because Frampton is from another country. So moving up, so he did the same thing that Roman did, but with bigger names, So Larry says, oh, well, he didn't win dominantly, and maybe the Quigg win, which I can't even fucking agree. He broke Quigg's jaw. What more do you want?
It was a clear-cut win.
Yeah,
it wasn't dominant. The fight was kind of boring, but
he broke his jaw.
Yeah. This is not fight of the year; it's fighter of the year. So
yeah, but a fighter of the year, like Larry had mentioned earlier, I think he has some flair to him. There's something that makes that fighter stand out, which is probably why he went with Lomachenko, because Lomachenko's a recent win. He just fought, so it's fresh in the mind. Definitely. When I was writing my criteria for what a fighter of the year is, it has to be, you have to put on a spectacular performance, and a boring fight. Yeah, that'll.
Well,
spectacular was the arena, the electricity in New York City when Leo Santa Cruz and Frampton fought. He did that from another country. He brought those people. And all the Irish people came out because of him.
That was a big clash in the UK. It was a big fight in the UK. It sounds like you're selling the fight, not so much the fighter.
The Leo fight. The Leo fight was big over here. What are you talking about?
Well, Ness, if you feel that way, then you're really forgetting the obvious fighter of the year.
Who is that?
Joe Smith Jr.
Hell no.
He's the 1 second.
Yo.
No. Can I explain this?
Yeah, sure. Try and explain.
He's the only fighter
makes him fighter of the year.
He's the only fighter with 2 high-profile upsets. That's it,
dude. And Carl Frampton is the only fighter with 2 high-profile wins.
He knocked both guys out.
2 different belts. No one's resume says that. No one.
And he knocked both guys out, including projectile shooting Bernard Hopkins out the ring with his punches. He literally shot him out like a projectile.
3 years ago, nobody knew.
Doesn't matter. We always complain. No. We always complain.
Hardcore site. Thank you, Al Heyman. That's why we know Fonfora. Get out of here with that shit. Scott Quigg was known 3 years ago.
That's how we know Fonfora.
You know why?
Chavez, who's about to get a fight. Chavez, who's about to get a fight with Canelo, got knocked out by Fonfora. Don't act like Fonfora is a bum, and he knocked him out in the first round.
Don't act like Scott Quigg wasn't a defending champion.
Right, I'm not dismissing.
Like Leo Santa Cruz is in a multiple division.
Hey, Ness, you can sit here and act like you knew Scott Quigg 3 years ago.
Carl Frampton is my number 2.
You knew Scott Quigg 3 years ago.
My friend, hold up. 3 years ago, I was covering Scott Quigg when he came to the United States and he fought on a Darren Barker card. Look it up. Didn't he beat Jonathan Romero or something like that? I might be wrong. Now, that could have been Kiko Martinez. Doesn't matter, but at the time, Scott Quigg was already the champion. I think. I don't know. Double check. You're the producer. So what?
Yes, he has 2 memorable wins, right? And no matter what you say, the way he fucking landed 4 – okay, not only did he land 4 punches, he was systematically destroying – like, it doesn't matter.
All right,
you could say 50 – 1 second. You could say 51. When Kovalev did it, people still picked Andre Ward to beat him. He's an old man, but he's still a legend. So if you don't give him credit for that, you're a hater.
All right, do me one favor. Just do me one. Pick a name. Who's that B-Hop win? Whose win does it trump? Does it trump the Leo win or does it trump the Scott Quigg win? Tell me.
It's a different level of comparison because
no. It's got to trump. It's 2 fights for 2 fights. Which one trumps it?
You know, it's better. It's just my criteria for fighter of the year is a fighter. One second, can you let me talk? Is a fighter who had the best year. So however you quantify it, and I think by having 2 high-profile upset wins that were very, very, very exciting, and the outcome was, I guess, convincing because they're knockouts. I mean, that's why I have him fighter of the year. I mean, if Andre Ward destroyed Kovalev, he would have been fighter of the year, but it didn't happen.
Last time I checked, Scott Quigg was coming off a 28-month layoff and then jumped in the ring with fucking Carl Frampton, huh?
Well, I don't know what you're trying to say, but I mean, Carl Frampton had a great year. I just don't think it was necessarily better than Joe Smith Jr.'s because of the, I guess because of the style in which he finished. I don't know, like he was favored against Scott Quigg, and a lot of people could go back and look at Scott Quigg's record and diminish that, like yourself. Who has Scott Quigg beaten, S?
Kiko Martinez. He beat a few people, you know what I'm saying? I think he beat a few people. Let me double check.
Not really. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
not really.
He's a good opponent. And Leo Santa Cruz, I mean, I fucking hate to do this, but Leo Santa Cruz only beat Abner Myers, who's smaller. So, like, Carl Frampton is a great fighter. But I think what Joe Smith Jr. did, which is knock out Fonfora in the first round and then end Bernard Hopkins' career, and he got a knockout earlier in this year. I think the way he came onto the scene, his wins, the quality in which he beat his opponents, I think, in my opinion, should deserve fighter of the year. With Carl Frampton, obviously, a case too, but that's just my pick. I would have no problem anybody picking Frampton.
I hear you. Listen, you got to get it. You got to get a good UK guy to big up some of these wins that Frampton has. Obviously, the notable fights is the Frampton. Not Frampton has, but Quigg has. The obvious notable wins for him are the Martinez and the Frampton fights. But it's like you guys say around here, more than me. Eye test, and when you watch him fight, you know he's good. He's a good counterpuncher, man. I like Frampton. I'm telling you, he even looked good on his comeback fight not too long ago. But Larry, let us know. Should we open it up, or you got any closing arguments here? Enrique, what's up with you and your list? Staying awfully quiet.
Yeah, I was listening in. I'm putting my list together. But yeah, so Manny Pacquiao, like I said, he only had one fight this year, so I don't give him number 5. I might give him number 6. Carl Frampton,
2 fights this year.
He had 2 fights.
Yeah, Bradley and
oh, that's right. And he had a short retirement. I'm sorry. I once he retired, I didn't think of him. Yeah. So all right. So 5 is cool for him. Carl Frampton is cool for number 4. Andre Ward, to me, is like 4 or 5 on another fight of the year list of mine. Because he only fought once. Terrence Crawford deserves number 2.
Whoa! Ward fought 3 times this year. I'm about to start shooting.
But against who though?
Non-casual.
Against who?
Okay, I see your
Sullivan
point.
Barrera, Alexander Brand, and Civic.
I see his point from a casual perspective. Like, who is Sullivan Barrera and who is what's that other guy's name?
Alexander Brand from Venice.
Yeah, but Ness, you last week said he was basic. So who is he?
Who's who?
Who's Barrera? It's you. You call them basic.
Ain't that what I just said? From a casual fan's perspective, who is Sullivan Barrera? Who is Alexander Brand? That's what I just said. But last week, we all seen what he did to Shabaransky, and you cannot ignore that.
That's
Like, if you want to ignore it because you're still hating on Ward and the win that he got over your little boy Kovalev.
I'm not, if you went back and listened to the podcast, I was the one that said he looked good. You were like, man, what he did is ordinary, is basic.
It was 1-2s all night.
Yo, guys, we got to get to the callers because we only have about 25 minutes left on this hour-long special that we got from Larry. So
we got 49 minutes left, producer.
My number one is AJ. Just to be clear, because
God,
I always judge heavyweights asking myself a pound for pound question, but only using the heavyweight monster who beat his opponent psychologically and physically. That is Iron Mike Tyson. So I always ask that question, like, damn, could he beat Mike Tyson? And I think he could have beaten Mike Tyson in that Mike Tyson prime. AJ.
But
I say he possibly can beat Mike Tyson. He's not afraid. I think he's the Iron Drago.
Except don't you have Fury as a close number 2 because he beat Addiction?
Denied.
Right.
What is up with you today? You beyond casual today. How the fuck is Anthony Joshua your fighter of the year?
Yo, him, Terrence Crawford, Jermell Charlo, they control that square circle. They accurately throw punches. They stop fighters. Jermell Charlo, he beat his rivalry, right? In excellent fashion. And then you think about it, like next year, if he fights any dangerous
Opponent.
middleweight, and you can like name drop Gennady, Canelo, Saunders, Eubank, whatever. I believe that it's going to be an explosive fight on his behalf because he ignites it. He looks great doing it, and he controls it. All those 3 fighters control the ring to me, right? That's my casual pick.
So basically, what I'm going to translate that to is Joshua gets fighter of the year because he knocks people out. And Jermell Charlo and all those other guys control the ring, so they boring.
I didn't say that.
They don't get no award. They don't get no
Terrence Crawford, I give him number 2. He undisputedly beats his opponents.
And I can't wait to see what the listeners think, man. You guys are mean as hell. I mean, Frampton beating Quigg and Leo is nothing, but Joshua fighting. I ain't even going. You know what? Joshua fighting Dominic Brazil, Charles Martin,
but Eric Molina's Wilder's second best win. Come on, man.
He's number 1.
I mean, were you listening to me?
The sad part is
sometimes I get confused with your explanations. Like,
let me tell you, the sad part is that when Wilder fought Eric Molina, he was called the bum, but now he's getting fighter of the year.
Yeah, because Anthony Joshua treated him like a bum. Wilder didn't. Okay. You see the difference, or no?
No,
I saw one guy's head dangling from the end of the ropes after the second round.
Had Wilder fought Povetkin, I think
the difference that
had he,
this is fighter of the year, not fighter versus Wilder.
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't have AJ number 1.
Wilder isn't even on this list. How does his name come up?
Yeah, but I don't have AJ that high. But I think you're being like by dismissing Enrique as like kind of bold / I don't know, casual pick him as number 1. I think you sound like a fucking hater and Wilder dick rider.
Yeah. I sound like a hater, and for you to chummy up some fans, let's throw Wilder in it because he's not on his list. No one spoke about him, but you must speak about him because he's Anthony Joshua's nemesis. That's all.
His nemesis.
Obviously, who else?
I think his
rival in the heavyweight division. That's the
bones calcifying is his nemesis. You gotta get them shits out right. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. No,
the hand doesn't look too good.
Yeah, neither does Vladimir Klitschko at 41.
Vasily Lomachenko.
So are we opening it up or what?
I'm ready.
Now let's get out to these calls.
Man, Larry, you got the horriblest connection. You better run a speed check test over there.
You on Google Hangout on your phone, Larry?
I mean, talk to us, man. Fighter of the year. What are you thinking, brother? Who's got it right over here? Because these guys got me, I don't know, I'm a little nervous with all these names they're giving out.
Also, if you have it, give us your top 3.
I mean, We'll be back.
I mean, that's twice this year.
After these messages, you know why? That's because we ain't do what we were supposed to do around these parts.
These calls are brought to you by our sponsor, El Camino Electrical Services, who have over 15 years of commercial electrical experience, servicing the whole Silicon Valley and the entire San Francisco Peninsula. Visit us at our website, elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Donald, talk to us. Donald in Richmond, fighter of the year. How do you have it?
Okay, look, I'm just going to say what I got to say real fast, then I'll let y'all say what y'all got to say. Honestly, I have fighter of the year as Terrence Crawford. So, look, I'm going to go through my list, and my list is not in the order that it should be in, okay? It's not in the order, so don't think that just because I'm naming this person off that's the number. And I don't know why you guys didn't have Errol Spence. What's wrong with you guys? Where's Errol Spence at? So, anyways, I got Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Gilmore Rickendale, Carl Frampton, Andre Ward, Joe Smith Jr., Anthony Joshua, Jermaine.
Wait. Who'd Rickendale fight?
Huh?
Who'd Rickendale fight?
Yo, why does it matter? If you could pick Anthony Joshua as your fighter there, why he can't put freaking Rickendale?
That's who'd Rickendale fight. We go.
Honestly,
yeah, but we can name Joshua's fighters. We can't even name Rickendale's. You know.
Okay, but listen, this is my thing. When I had two names sitting here, I had Rickendale and I had Pacquiao. I just went with Rickendale for the simple fact that Pacquiao was just coming off retirement and getting his feet wet with Jesse Vargas. But when I look at Rickendale and I'm like, Rickendale, he's feared. Pacquiao's not feared. So I have to go with Rickendale for the simple fact that he's feared. I mean, I seriously doubt that Carl Frampton will fight Rickendale. Who can agree with me on that?
Wait. So you give people fighter of the year because they're feared?
That's a factor.
No, I didn't. But I didn't say that I gave Rickendale fighter of the year. I said I gave it to Terrence Crawford. But I'm saying that when I was looking at the last two names and I'm thinking, who am I going to choose to put on my 10 list? Is it going to be Manny Pacquiao or Rickendale? And I said I went with Rickendale for the simple fact that Pacquiao's coming off of retirement and he got his feet wet with Jesse Vargas. But when I have to think about Rickendale and what he's done and the people that he's fought, and that he's more likely feared in the fight, that's why he can't really get the good fight most of the time, I said I had to put Rickendale on the list instead of Pacquiao. That's what I was saying. Oh, hello?
Okay.
MD, you engaged him that much and now you back off?
I mean, I have other co-hosts, like, you know, like I don't want to be complaining about hijacking, you know, so.
But,
I mean, sometimes I have to educate, you know, so do you want more education or no?
Well, I'm just going to tell you why. I gave it to Terrence Crawford. I mean, you guys would have probably gave it to Terrence Crawford if he knocked Victor Postal out or pressed for a knockout. But I look at it like this.
Not you guys, Larry.
I would have.
Yeah, and Terrence Crawford, I think, is an honorable mention, but I think that two of his opponents were so overly matched, it's hard to necessarily give it to him. Because that Postal win was extremely impressive. I think that Molina.
This guy, MD, you're so full of shit sometimes. So Crawford's opponents are overly matched, but not Joshua's, and he deserves fighter of the year.
Oh my God. I definitely have Terrence Crawford above Joshua, but like, do you need to shit on Joshua every second you get?
No. I'm bringing it back to what you started. Just think about that. Is John Molina's win over Ruslan Pavac?
Listen, I have Terrence Crawford ahead of Joshua, so I don't know what we're arguing here before we waste more time.
Ruslan not better than Eric.
I'm not talking about Joshua or Crawford because Crawford had a better year.
Exactly.
All right, who's next? I don't know who that number is. Who's next?
We're going to go to Skype. Scorsese, talk to me.
Scorsese.
Yeah. I can kind of agree with that. I can kind of agree with that first caller, man. Y'all got a lot of political champions on this list, and if you hate the politics in boxing, you shouldn't be rewarding it.
Whoa. What do you mean, yeah? Clearly, this is Larry's on demand. This is Larry's top 10. His honorable mentions and his number one.
Scorsese, what's up, man? It's a pleasure to be on with you. Go ahead and get your hate on.
Get your hate on. I like that. I like get your hate on. I like that one.
No hate, but Carl Frampton literally told Rigo, "I'm going to fight." First, they stole Rigo's belt to Unified. Then they told him, "I'm going to fight you," and then he left the division to not fight him. I'm not giving no fight of the year to a guy that's avoiding
Ness,
fights.
do you have a violent soundbite?
You can't skip the divisional playoff game and say I'm going to make the Super Bowl. No, sorry. Andre Ward took the fight. Even if you don't believe he won the fight, he fucking took the fight. That's what we here for, right? To see the I don't think Frampton beat Leo Santa Cruz either. But anyway, Andre Ward number 1, Jamal Charlo number 2, and the sleeper Robert Easter Jr. Nobody has said it. The man fought Richard Comey, a A-level prospect, and then he beat Argenis Mendez by knockout for the first time in his career after Mendez had just beat the former champion Miguel Vasquez, who a lot believe should have still been a champion. Robert Easter's on that list. No political. There's nothing political about my list. Joe Smith Jr. knocked out Bernard Hopkins. He didn't get to choose when Bernard Hopkins came back off a layoff. He didn't get to choose opponents, and he didn't get to do that Carl Frampton, that Lomachenko, that Pacquiao. These people were put in, so that's who you gonna fight, and they put on the show for us, and they said this is what we gonna do. So I don't know about, you can play with the back end of the list, but Ward, Charlo, Easter, Joe Smith Jr. Um, maybe Yamanaka, because I did watch Moreno. Moreno got a very pro style, but I don't do much below 22 because they see the same two styles every night. One dude moving too damn much and one dude coming forward too damn much. No kind of patience, no kind of pocket boxing. Just one guy moving, one guy chasing. So if you have two styles every night, you get used to it. These guys, Ward facing Kovalev and then facing a Barrera, that's very different. So Joshua, nowhere in the list, top 10. Crawford, nowhere in the top 10. He had him overmatched opponent, nowhere in the top 5. That back 5, that's for the birds. But the top 5, there you go. I hope some more people look up what Robert Easter done, man, because Comey ain't no joke. And that fight with Shafikov in Russia should show anybody that.
All right, Scorsese. Thanks for calling in. Robert Easter, he said no one mentioned Robert Easter yet. That is the point of opening up the phone lines. We set the platform. It's like the Kevin Costner movie, man. If you build it, you guys should come and give your own opinions. This is Larry's top 10. Not that it's a bad top 10. I mean, it's very hard to kind of swap these guys out. Anyway, 904, you're live on TBV. Who's this?
What's up, man? This is Jay from Jacksonville.
This is who?
Jay, Jamar.
Jamar, what's going on, brother? Steven, get that down. It's the third time Jamar calls in. We don't got that. Listen, Jamar, we're looking for your top 3 because we got a lot of callers. So we're going to bring it down to the top 3, and then you can give us your 2 honorable mentions for 4 and 5. And obviously your number 1 is your fighter of the year.
All right. So my top 3, my number 3 I'll definitely be Jamal Charlo. The knockout over Julian Williams and stuff like that. I feel like, dang, this is a real deal. He just got a good win over a decent opponent, and I feel like that puts him definitely in the top 5. Top 2, probably Andre Ward with Kovalev. It was a little shaky because a lot of people didn't think he won, but for what he did, he beat who was it? He beat Brand and he beat Barrera in an impressive fashion. Like they look like average fighters. And then for number 1,
Brand wasn't average. He was below average.
Huh?
No, and just MD showing more.
He was, Ness. Stop hitting. Or was he like Isaac Chilumba? Or did you embarrass yourself again?
Well, I'm just saying since he beat Sullivan in a good manner, and then he goes on to beat the pound for pound fighter. It was a shaky decision. That's why I gave him number 2. For number 1, obviously I picked Joe Smith because this is a fighter of the year list and not a pound for pound list. That's why Rigondeaux, I don't think he deserves to be in this list because he didn't really fight anybody worth mentioning, and the guy he fought was really nobody. And I think my honorable mentions, you can definitely put someone like Anthony Joshua because I know people say he didn't really fight anybody, but I feel like just because he's in that little number for beating up the champs. He doesn't really rank pound for pound for me because he didn't beat anybody, but I can put him as fighter of the year. And then the other one, I guess you can go with Manny Pacquiao, you know, coming off the layoff in the retirement.
All right, Jamal, man, thank you for calling in. We're going to get that number down so we get you for next time. We're going to 310. You're live. Who's this? $310. Go on. Yes, sir. You're up. Who's this?
Hi, this is Chris from Inglewood.
Chris from Inglewood. Talk to us, baby. Give us your top
California.
3. Inglewood, California. Chris.
Top 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, top 3.
Oh, top 3. I to my over that impressive win against Julian Williams. That was my first time seeing him fight, and it was impressive for the first time seeing him fight. And I give that to him. Number 2, I give to Terrence Crawford because just that dominating performance against Victor Postol. And number 1, I will give it to Carl Frampton because he did have 2 big wins this year. And yeah, that's my top 3.
All right, Chris from Inglewood, California. Thanks for calling in, brother. Is this your first time calling in, by the way?
Yeah, it's my first time.
Oh, man. How'd you find us, and how long have you been listening?
I was listening for a few months. I still watch. I don't know if you know this channel, T Street, and you guys popped up in the recommendations, and I like listening to like hour long videos while I'm working. So that's how I got to listen to you guys.
Nice, brother. Well, thanks for finding us.
Turn on your notification and subscribe.
That's right. Turn on them notifications so you get those little pings every time we go live, because we're doing a lot more shows more and more often. So definitely, man, thank you for finding us. Let's get out to Marcus.
And you should also hit thumbs up because, you know, that also adds to the visibility of the Boxing Voice.
Very true. Very true. And that's what we're trying to get each episode to them 1,000 likes. Let's get them 1,000 thumbs up, man. That's our goal around here. Marcus, top 3. Who's your fighter of the year?
Yo, man, I go Terrence Crawford, Lomachenko, and with great regret, you know, Andre Ward. You know, so I think everybody could. First of all, if you ain't no top 10 fighter, I don't even think you could be considered. All those nondescript opponents, they don't get fighter of the year because they don't have significant enough fights. So Terrence Crawford, significant fights. For Lundy, he fought Molina at the tail end, but the Postol, we really didn't get the lead up to it because it wasn't hyped that much. But the fact of the matter is that when he went and put those titles on the line, man, that was a very important fight in boxing, man. That could have shifted a big paradigm. You know, we learned a lot about Crawford. We found out that he is the absolute real deal that day. Lomachenko was so dominant against Roman Martinez, who had slugfest with Toledo and other fighters at 130, that, you know, he just dispatched him like he was nothing. And then
spit it, caller.
Everybody was so high on after the Garnett fight, man. This man got dismantled by Lomachenko. So those two dudes, it's a tie. But I
let's not forget he came off a 1-year layoff. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that.
I don't care.
All right.
Listen,
well, I mean,
got a decision to make.
Yeah, I know.
B-Hop
didn't care either.
If you decide to come off for 1 year and that's the dude you want to fight and you sign that contract.
Yeah, but yo, it's okay, caller. Understand that Ness also picked Walter, so he's just trying to, like, you know, play devil's advocate because because he knows what's up.
Let me tell you this right now, Ness. Let me tell you this right now because I've seen him fight. If Walters had fought 3 months before Lomachenko, he was still gonna get iced. It wasn't even about his level, so he couldn't go to.
Marcus.
Iced.
Marcus, come here, Marcus. Listen, Marcus, it's easy to say that now. You know.
Yo, Ness, next year, can you promise to make a New Year's resolution to use your eyes and apply the eye test sometimes?
No, next year what we're gonna do is we're gonna get Steven to start as soon as the new year starts. His list will be kept. It's going to be digital from now on, and people are going to earn awards based on their picks. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be some.
Are you sure you want this?
Yeah, I want this. I want this because we both know that I pick with my heart more than I pick with the fucking betting favorite the way most of you do, because you don't live dangerously like me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think like, you know, if you're the worst percentage, you have to wear like a binky because like you're like the baby, like, you know.
No, let's just do pies since you don't like pies and they hurt your eyes.
Yeah, but I don't want. But I don't.
Don't lose.
But I don't want your family to be, you know, to have Nestor Gibbs blind. Because you're gonna get so many pies in the face.
All I'm saying is Floyd said put your check up when he fought Maidana, and he called this bluff, right? I'm calling yours.
Okay.
I bet or no bet.
I bet you my percentages of winning is significantly higher than yours.
Well, if you're right, then you ain't got to worry about a pie. Live dangerously.
I'll make a pie bet every single week.
Every week. Let's do it then. We're gonna have your girl working overtime over there. I'll tell you that. 626, you're up. Because he trying to ignore the fact that he picked B-Hop last week. That'd have been pie in your face.
Who did you pick, Ness?
It don't matter. I'm just showing the world that you have pie on your face. I know 626 letting his clock go. Who's this? Alden from Phoenix? 626. 626. All right.
Yo.
Oh, here he goes. Here he goes. Who's this? Man, I'm not where the big guy?
Yo, it's Young Cashew from Los Angeles.
Young Cashew from Los Angeles.
Yo, your boy Young Cantu from Los Angeles. Eric Show 15. That's my Twitter handle.
Oh, Young Cantu, what's going on?
What's good, Boxing Voice? Y'all keep it lit, man. Hey, this is a controversial decision right here. Just like most of these big fights this year. I'm gonna have to go with you, Niz. I think Carl Frampton deserves to be the best in the sense that, you know, you got to give credit where credit's due. He won as a road dog against a phenom who was undefeated in the United States, and that's Leo Santa Cruz.
Whoa, phenom's a bit of
phenoms.
But okay, but I like
second coming
up. Paint a picture, baby. Hey, let him paint his picture. Get out of here. Go ahead.
Yo, what part of California you come from?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Hey,
where you from?
I'm from Los Angeles, bro.
Thought so.
And I was just at the Hopkins fight. Hopkins was washed up, man. You got to give Joe Smith credit, but he fought a washed up legend.
Yeah, but Joe Smith washed him out
with his two big knockouts.
Yo, he washed him out of the ring.
He might be a surprise fighter of the year, but he's not the fighter of the year. I'll give him the surprise fighter of the year, but the fighter of the year has got to be either Santa Cruz or you can't really hate on Andre Ward, bro. Like, he won that big fight, the biggest fight of the year. So whether it was political or not, he won that fight. So you got to give him credit. He has those belts, and they got to rematch it, but he should be in this discussion as well.
Just Steven, can you share that?
Bro, like, you're throwing in all these guys when Andre Ward, bro, he's like, you got to give him credit. Man, he's gonna be him and hating. So I don't know, man. It's all
Young Cantu, that's your time, baby. You got to knock him out in the round. Well, let's get to some alumni. About time, man. I wanted to play some intros.
You know, like I know, you should lie low. I used to get it in Ohio.
Live show, man.
So Steven won in the fourth dimension.
Shout out at the end of the last show. Casual fan, I appreciate the shout out at the end, man. You know, for Call of the Year, whatever. I heard that, man. But Fight of the Year, man. It's Charlo's number 3. Let me get to it. Charlo's number 3. Austin Trout, and I ain't gonna lie, I picked Williams over Charlo, so he definitely won me over. So he's number 3. Number 2, man. Number 2 is gonna be Carl Frampton, man. And number 1 is gonna be Ward. I had Ward winning the fight 114-113. So he's gonna be my number 1. So I mean, he beat Sullivan Barrera. He beat Kovalev, number 2, pound for pound.
Brand was the tune-up. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, if I scored the fight for him, and to me, I mean, if we kind of break down that fight in particular real quick, there's no way to me Kovalev won 1 through 6. He didn't win all first 6 rounds. So you got to give Ward at least 2 rounds within the first 6, and then we all know Ward pitched a shutout for the rest of the fight, except for round 10. And he still wins 114-13. I mean, 113. But yeah, man, I just think that Errol should definitely be one of my honorable mentions. I just think the way he disposed of Algieri, the way nobody else did. Plus,
yeah, but you say it like it's like written, like round 12 was close too.
Did we lose him?
Nah, Jay Will, you there? Well, not anymore. That's the 10-second clap.
Yeah, the truth comes out. And listen, Steven tried to put up the I guess the percentages of the boxing fans, and I think it's 72%. And what percentage of
one website, bro? You're acting like, first of all, ESPN,
find me a different website, Ness.
Hold on. Yes. At least if you go to ESPN, which is the number 35 website in the entire world. So if there's a trillion, they're number 35. You know, Bad Left Hook is a decent website, but they're like fucking, I don't know, 14,000. So that's not really a huge percentage of all boxing fans.
So whatever goes on in your
even Ring TV has lower ranking than that website. So Ring TV would be a better gauge.
So
they are not as big as ESPN.
Okay. So the only other statistic you have is in your own mind, because I haven't seen it. Okay, so show me one.
Just the sheer fact that there's obviously fans that call in to this show and say they seen Ward win, the same way that there's fans that call into this show
4,300
Kovalev win.
Actually, it's more than that.
What are you talking about?
The amount of people in the poll, it's actually like 6,000 people about who.
All right, let me get to some callers while you're still stuck on Ward, my friend. This is
I'm stuck on the truth.
Top 10, call it fighter of the year, brother. Let me get out to Craig from the UK on Skype.
Hi. It's actually 3 o'clock right now in the UK. So tired. So my top 3 fighters are Andre Ward, Terence Crawford, and Tony Bellew. I'm surprised none of you actually mentioned Tony Bellew after his fight over against BJ Flores. I don't know. Did you guys?
Because BJ Flores is not really a fighter to be taken seriously.
Yeah, because this is the way that we're doing it. We're like, all right, so if fighter A has 2 fights and fighter B has 2 fights, compare those fights. And obviously the McAboo and the Flores win don't trump the Scott Quigg or the Leo win or the Trout and the Williams win or the combination of the Molina and the Charles Martin and the Brazil win. I mean, that's really, McAboo.
That was my top 3.
Who was your top?
What you just named. But go ahead. Call it. Go ahead.
I don't know. I strongly believe Tony Bellew should be in that top 10. That fight against BJ Flores was a great fight, very entertaining fight.
Yeah, but do you know who BJ Flores is?
He's at the tail. He's not even at the tail end of his career. It was like the tail end of his career was like 2 years ago.
But that's, to be fair, he's never really had a peak. So like, I hate to be a hater, but like BJ Flores hasn't done anything to like warrant top level competition.
Well, forget what he's done. When he's gotten the opportunities, he hasn't been able to win. Like, didn't he fight Shubinov?
He couldn't cut off the ring against Shubinov.
I know, that was a bad fight.
But the question is the top fighter of the year, which means it means styles of fights, and that fight.
Damn, Craig, this is a different style of show. This is an on-demand show courtesy of Larry from San Francisco. Remember, you guys can take advantage the same way that Larry did and head on over to ThaBoxingvoice.com. Go to the on-demand page and create your own show. Each caller is limited, Craig,
Yeah,
but
so-
I don't understand where he was going with that.
Yeah.
More about styles.
I mean, Larry, what do you think about that? Because I think it's kind of ridiculous because he had one big upset win, but like BJ Flores, I don't rate him at all, so I don't give him anything for that win.
Yeah, I appreciate the call from the UK. I was hoping to hear a little bit from them, even though the time difference is significant. I was surprised he went with Bellew and didn't have Frampton. It's three. I think he had the higher profile victories. Bellew was actually in my top 20 overall. He wasn't going to make the top 10, but yeah, no way he gets down that low to the top.
Hey, Larry, I also wanted to ask you another name that came up a couple times was Earl Spence. Did you consider putting Earl Spence on your top 10 list?
I did not. I was boasting way back when he did it, but I called the Algieri knockout. Algieri is accomplished as he was, can't punch. And I knew that Spence would stand right in the pocket and go right at him and do what he did. So I just think that was a perfect style matchup for Spence. I do rate Spence. I think he's going to be, if not the top welterweight, one of the top ones, but not enough this year to get in the top 10.
I gotta say, Larry, that Frampton, I didn't consider him at all. I totally forgot about him beating Leo Santa Cruz and Scott Quiggs. Breaking Scott.
Yeah, man, that's that casual. And you let me get back out to some callers since Larry wanted some UK callers. Get out to Muhammad in the UK as well. Muhammad, give us your fighter of the year and your top 3 honorable mentions.
All right, but first of all, I'm not from the UK. I already told you I'm from Africa.
Shit.
Canary Islands.
And you just said that the last episode. See, this is
Yes,
why we
sir.
need a producer on Skype too. This is no good, man. I'm doing multiple things over here. I'm trying to reconnect the blog talk. Nobody even knew. Go talk to us, Muhammad.
Yeah, the super fighter of the year, which is an award I'm creating, is the Boxing Voice, because you guys has been amazing. You know, from Eunice doing shows like every day to MD, who's taking time from his busy schedule because he's a medical student, so he's always there. And Enrique giving his special flavor to the producer, Senor Calderon. So you guys are the best, and I think everybody should be a Patreon. It doesn't cost anything to give $5 or $10 a month. That's nothing. It's gonna help you guys grow, and we need you because you give us entertainment, you give us updates. Sometimes it's crazy, you know, you have like 5 shows a week. I mean, nobody comes close to you. Day after Christmas, during the holidays. So that being said, big up to you guys. My fighter of the year is a tie, actually, because it's Andre Ward. Because in this day, in this era where everybody is avoiding everybody, he stepped up to the plate. He accepted to face, what's his name? Sergey Kovalev. Yeah, Sergey Kovalev. He was down in the second round, and yet he came back. So that takes a lot of mental strength. And number 1 as well, tied, is Carl Frampton, because you know he faced back-to-back Quiggs and Leo Santa Cruz. So you have to give him his props. Number 3 is Keith Thurman, because everybody was giving him a lot of shit talking about his avoiding Porter, faking an accident. He came, he took the aggression, he handled his business, and he is setting up the next super fight, which is going to be probably fight of the year. Speaking of which, Ness, please, you got to let me know when it's official, because I don't know whether to reserve a hotel in Brooklyn or Manhattan, depending on either it's Barclay or the Garden.
Well, Danny Garcia did a live stream about 2 days ago from his Instagram, and all he said was New York. He said he's starting training camp this week. So it's New York, man, is all I can say. But I'm telling you guys, if we don't get those 25 RSVPs, we are not doing it. I'm telling you right now, we only got 3, so we still need 22 to go, and the deadline is January 8th. That's about 10 days from now. Muhammad,
So
that
what's
is
the
your
go-to
call.
with?
You got to go.
Muhammad, I would recommend Manhattan for you.
Manhattan is expensive, man.
It's just as equal as it is in Brooklyn. The hotels out there, you could just take a taxi, Uber it over the bridge, and hit the Barclays Center. There will be a lot more things for you to do in Manhattan.
Yeah, but I already stayed in Manhattan like many times. Never been in
Brooklyn.
Never stayed in Brooklyn, so I want to feel it. You know, see what is.
Go to Brooklyn, then. I recommend it then.
All right.
Muhammad.
Williamsburg, by the way. Beautiful.
Thanks for calling in, Muhammad. And definitely head on over to the Boxing Voice and get your RSVP on. We don't get those 25. Don't expect a TBV appreciation night. There will be no awards. There will be no partying. There will be no fun.
Drink.
So remember, by March 8th, that's only 10 days. So we need 22 more people to sign up in 10 days. Countdown has begun. We're going out to the streets. We got Diego. Talk to me. Ali, what's going on, brother?
Hello?
Ali from Dago, what up?
Hello?
Ali from Dago, what up?
Oh, what up? How's everybody doing?
We good,
How
we
y'all
good.
doing, man? All right, man. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna start off saying sorry, Terrence Crawford. You know, that's my boy, but I can't have him in my top 3. Even though he beat Postal, which was a big win, but that was the only big win he had. You know, I feel like most people are putting Crawford, you know, in their top 3 because of activity, which is good. He had a lot of activity, but he fought like, you know, 2 scrubs to me, you know, Lundy, and I believe Lundy was this year, was it?
Yeah, it was.
And Molina? Yeah, Molina was, yeah. But, and I just, you know, I don't know, man. I just can't put him in my top 3 because of those 2 fights. I give him full credit for the Postal fight. But since I got that out the way, I'm gonna say number 3. I gotta have Jamal Charlo because of what he did. You know, he beat a very good fighter in Austin Trout, and you know he beat a guy that a lot of people thought would beat him. You know, and Williams, including myself. So I got him at number 3. I got Andre Ward, you know, for beating Sullivan Barrera and Sergey Kovalev. So Ward number 2, and number 1, I got to go with Carl Frampton for beating 2 good undefeated fighters. And that's basically all I got, y'all.
Larry wants to ask Ali a question. Ali from Dago, Larry got a question for you.
Okay.
Hey, Ali, good talking to you, bro. Hey, it's funny. Your criteria is kind of like the opposite of mine. You're rewarding the wins based on the names, while I give a lot of credit to the manner in which somebody wins. The fact that Crawford beat the brakes off of Lundy and Molina doesn't give any extra in your eye?
No, it doesn't. But I mean, if people are picking him to be their top in the top 3, I understand it. But just me, I mean, beating a guy like Lundy and Molina, like, to me, doesn't get him in the top 3 on my list. You know, like, I give him credit for all those wins and being active, but his only big win to me is Postal. So, you know, that's just the way I look at it.
Ali, well, thanks for calling in. Before we get out to Alex in Australia, Alex, I'm coming to you, so I hope you're ready. I'm seeing a lot of people asking, do we have a new panelist? How'd Larry do the on-demand? Man, this is like it's like the thumbs up. We got to continue to remind people. So that being said, you got to go over to theboxingvoice.com/on-demand, and you can tailor make your show. There are questions of how much and things like that. Just head on over there. All your questions will be answered because each show is individualized to the customer, really. You know, it depends on you. Larry wanted to be on the panel, so we got him on the panel. We're going to Alex in Australia. Talk to us.
Hey boys, thanks Larry for the show. Awesome, good on you. Always supporting TBV, love it. Thanks boys for always being there. Support TBV all the way. All right, let's get started. I've kind of got a mix. I'm glad I actually came on the call after the last bloke because Larry brought up a good point. It's like the fashion in which someone wins. So that's going to be a big part of why I've got my top 3 the way I do. So the top 3 would be Andre Ward, Carl Frampton, and Vasil Lomachenko. I would say purely because Axeman was so revered. I think Axeman would beat Quigg. I think he would beat who else did Frampton fight? Leo Santa Cruz quite easily. And I think people were looking too much into the layoff. They were picking Walters to win, and then when Walters lost, they're like, oh, but he had a layoff. But they were still picking him to win. So it doesn't really make sense to me. Frampton, I love, and it's the fashion in which he wins, by the way, as well. The way his footwork is, so he's just a very entertaining fighter, very good fighter, fighting and always diving into the best possible opponent. That's got to be respected. Frampton, 2 big wins, but I do feel like you've got to take a bit of merit from him because Rigo was offering him out 24/7, non-stop trying to fight him, and this is the best out of all those kind of surrounding divisions, and he ducked him like the plague, man. So I kind of take a little bit of merit from him, even though he does have 2 big wins in 2 good fights. And Andre Ward, you know, what do you say? Sullivan Barrera just beat a great prospect, and you know, he's proving himself, and Andre Ward beat him, and he beat the boogeyman in that division in Kovalev. So, I mean, you know, there's really not much more to say about Andre Ward. That bloke is easily the most accomplished out of all fighters right now, and he deserves as much respect as you can give him, but that's my call.
Alex, great call, right on time. You had something, MD? I mean, excuse me, Enrique?
No, I was just acknowledging his call time. He did it well, right
Yeah,
on time and full of information.
It was.
That criteria and how you win a fight, that's the same thing I used. That's why Crawford was on my list.
Yeah, but you know, what needs to be factored in is how you win a fight and who
against.
Who you win it against, because then all that continues to, you know, change. It's like an equalizer, yeah, you know, like a sound system equalizer. It's like, oh, wait a minute, but he fought a top 10 opponent, so it's like do, you know, not like, oh, he fought a top 30. Going down, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Sounds right.
Let's go to somebody who went down at the hand of Enrique, but Enrique now has a loss too at the hand of Canadian Jose, none other than Joey from Indiana. Joey, what's going on?
Yo, how you doing, man? Yo, shout out to Larry, man. That's what's up, Larry. I'll be real quick, man. So you want to know my fighter of the year and my top 3 notables?
Yes, sir.
Okay, my fighter of the year is Anthony Joshua.
Mm.
Okay, and then my top three are going to be Golovkin. I have Golovkin, Carl Frampton, and Crawford. Those are going to be my top 3. And
wait, did he say Golovkin?
Yeah, I want to ask him about why Golovkin.
Yeah, Golovkin.
Okay, that's cool. So your number.
First got to pick Golovkin right when MD leaves. Poor MD.
So your fighter of the year is
smashing through. Yeah, my fighter of the year though is Anthony Joshua.
Thank you.
That's my fighter of the year.
But Enrique, don't feel good. Don't feel good. Remember that Joey's just as casual as you. He picked Brook over Golovkin. Now Golovkin learned them so much he made him fighter of the year.
Right, and then I was using that other criteria, the equalizer. Who was his opponent, and you know whose his opponent was? Well, what were they top 10? Brooks was a top 10 guy.
Yeah, top 10 in the 2 divisions below.
And then he also fought who else he fought this year earlier?
Dominic Wade, sir. Gennady Golovkin knocked out.
Yeah, what's up, Nestor?
You coming out here? You coming to New York City or what? The Big Apple? La Manzana?
Man, that's the plan, man. I told Bruce if I
Which one you doing it for? Which one are you doing it for, though?
And then hitch the ride.
Wait a minute. Which one you doing it for? You gonna stick with one time, or you crossing over the gate to Triple Jeezy?
No. I gotta go one time.
Oh, all right.
I thought so.
I was about to say, us light-skinned brothers got to stick together. We can't leave Keith out there like that.
Are you wearing a suit, Joey, this time?
Joey.
Yeah, actually, man, I'm waiting for Macy's and JCPenney to have that clearance, man. So I can give you something nice, man.
I hear you. Yo, but you can't wear a suit this time. You've been in the gym for like a year, man. You gotta go sharper than that. So, like, you know,
he's buying a new suit.
You gotta show the Anthony Joshua work you've been doing. You've been putting it in, man.
It's gonna be fitted. The suit.
I went home this weekend and I ate a bunch of Puerto Rican rice and lechon, man. I gotta get back in the gym, dude. I done got fat over the weekend, man.
Yo,
so
I think everybody put on about 6 to 10 pounds over the weekend. Listen, Joey, man, wrap it up really quick for us, so we can get out to some others.
No, just real quick, shout out to Larry and keep supporting TVP and hopefully we can rally up with a bunch of guys and we get up for this Garcia Thurman because I really think it's gonna be an epic, fun weekend, man. But y'all be good, man. Take care. Have a good night.
All right, hey Joey, man.
Thanks,
Well, if you're coming to New York City, don't forget you got to RSVP for the appreciation night. If we don't get that 25 before January 8th, there will be none. So obviously, if you're going, you want to do that now. It's only a $50 refundable deposit, ladies and gentlemen. It's just to make sure that we have enough bodies before we start inviting big names like Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to 262. You're up. Who's this?
New caller.
New caller. Where you calling in from?
Milwaukee. Young Smack the General.
Young
6'4", 250. Got these hands. Not afraid to let them go. Come see me.
Whoa, I love it. I love it. Yo, so how long have you been listening to TBV? Young Smack the General, right? That was the name?
Correct. For years. Been listening for years, man. And tried to call in here and there, always got stuck in queue or had to get back to work or I just felt like I had to call in on this one and try to catch y'all why I got some free time versus a replay.
Well, I'm glad that you called in, man.
Well,
Good to
anyway,
see that we got some callers out in Milwaukee, man. I love that the reach is getting there. Talk to us. Who is your fighter of the year and your 3 honorable mentions?
So honorable mention, I got Charlo and Vasily Lomachenko. That's pretty been well covered. And my top 2, my next slide and then runner up in fighter of the year, I got coming in number 3, I got the boy Bud Crawford out of Omaha. I think what he did and disposing of the Iceman Posto was impressive. I mean, that was a 50-50 fight according to a lot of the media and fans and all that, and he made it look like easy work. Then coming in at number 2, I think Andre S.O.G. Ward, just you look at that Sullivan Barrera win, and it's a lot better than what it looked like at the time earlier in the year, him beating Shabransky like that, who's a hot prospect. And then also you slide in the other fight, and then, obviously beating the Debo of his division and moving up in the process to satisfy those folks at HBO. It was competitive, but I think, you can't call robbery if it was a close fight. And then my
90 seconds.
Carl Frampton, him beating Quigg, getting a strap off of him, and then coming back and beating Leo Santa Cruz. And
Young Smack.
Saved by the Bell, rather.
Saved by the Bell, brother. Who did he end up going with number 1? Did he give his number 1?
I don't think so.
Shit. Smack, come back.
The General,
what is your number 1?
60 seconds.
Uh-oh.
Carl Frampton.
Okay. You just like me then. All right. I called Frampton since as soon as he beat Leo Santa Cruz.
Yeah, he did duck Rigo, but we gotta go on what's in the ring. So he is my fighter of the year.
All right.
Carl
Listen,
Frampton.
I don't know about that ducking though, right? Like he unified with Scott Quigg, right? And then he moved up. So he didn't duck, he moved up. It ain't like he went back down.
I think if he was still fighting in the division, it would be like an obvious duck. Whereas like a moving up could be more of, you could argue that he's still challenging himself. I mean, he's definitely still challenging himself. He's fighting Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz is no slouch. There are people who probably not want to fight a Leo Santa Cruz and would rather fight a Rigondeaux because they figure they might not take as much punishment.
Anybody that needs to call in, you need to press 1 now because the live stream will be cutting out. That number is 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 to give us your fighter of the year. But it looks like we got to everyone right on time. This is not bad.
Hey, Ness, I got to do that producer thing. I got to try to save Amin because he called in earlier. We went to him. Well, we went to him, but he
All right,
wasn't.
let's try him again. I mean, you there? Because we did hear background noise. You're right. I mean, are you there? I mean.
Yeah, I'm here.
I mean. What is your fighter of the year?
Yo, I remember you asked me before about Terrence Crawford. I think thus far I'm gonna go with Terrence Crawford for fighter of the year.
It's a good pick.
Any runner-ups?
I mean, you don't sound like yourself.
No, I'm a little under the weather, fellas.
Yeah, man, I was a bit ill the other day too. I had to get a few chicken noodle soups under my belt.
Yeah, I mean, how much credit does Joe Smith Jr. deserve for getting those 2 wins? Like, should he be top 2 in question for?
MD made him fighter of the year for beating B-Hop.
I like that because if you think about it this way, if that was Andre Ward with those 2 wins plus a Kovalev, like he's undoubtedly fighter of the year. So
no, you said it plus a Kovalev. You said it. You know what I mean? Don't try to weasel in a 50-year-old B-Hop like, you know.
Screw that, man. They're arguably both top 10. I mean, Fonfara for sure. B-Hop, the last time he was in the ring, he certainly was.
Yeah, man, I hear you, bro. I hear you. Listen, I mean, any other runner-ups? You got Crawford for fighter of the year. Who else could have made it? Coulda, woulda, shoulda. I mean, over there.
I don't think it's really too many other fighters, honestly, because I mean, Lomachenko, I don't consider what he did fighter of the year worthy. I mean, it's about performance plus opponent. That's what I think, it amounts to. So I really think you got to look at Charlo, for me, could have been fighter of the year just off the fact of what he did with an opponent like J-Rock, what he did with Trout, 2 good fights in the same year. I think with Crawford it's just more quantity, Fought a couple times this year. He beat the quote unquote, the other guy at 140. He did a lot. I think he did a lot.
All right, I mean, well, thanks for calling in. Yeah, man, I can see everybody's pick. Look,
well, it's tough because the last couple of years, whenever we've been doing these fighter of the year picks, we've been dealing with like 2 fighters or 3 fights, if that. Remember back when Onito Donaire got it because he had fought like 4 times that year? Yeah. Bring that back, man. If any fighter fought 4 times in a year and they're all against top 10 competition.
It's just difficult right now with the amount of fighters and negotiations. They're taking so long. Look at the Golovkin Jacobs. That was supposed to happen December 10th. Pushed back now to March 18th, So that added 4 months onto that. Negotiations takes a lot, a bulk of our time here on the show and in boxing. But Larry, do you feel that you got what you asked for? Did the public? I don't think anyone picked Lomachenko but you, right? Did anybody?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to everybody. Real quick, I was going to tell Amin, go get you some elderberry and a kombucha and recover so you can come back with some energy next time. Love to have you back. But no, I appreciate everybody's picks. Everybody called in and voiced their opinion. Some of them were more correct opinions than the others, but it's all good nonetheless. Super big ups to the Boxing Voice. Super appreciate the platform and the chance. I do want to encourage everybody to Patreon and on demand and get up in here and get your show on and get your content out there and use this wonderful platform that we have to talk some boxing, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. And real quick, wanted to throw out my Twitter handle if anybody wants to connect online and talk some more boxing. I'm at LDillon33, LDILLON 33. Thanks.
All right, man. This was a great show. We had a lot of interaction, a lot of comments. Obviously, if you're watching this in the future, present or past, hit that thumbs up button. Put your Fighter of the Year in the comments, and give us your runner-up as well. We can definitely come back. This was an on-demand courtesy of Larry. You guys can do the same by heading over to theboxingvoice.com/on-demand. Now, we will be back tomorrow. Me and Larry actually had some off-air conversations, so hopefully you can answer these questions in the comments. I'll be checking them closely throughout the night. At times, the other hosts are not always available, but there are like breaking news topics. And, I wanted to basically know how you guys felt about me going live with just you, the listeners, while Steven is at work or Enrique is out doing some fancy smancy shoots, so that we don't lose things. Because I really wanted to talk Berto versus Algieri. So I'm going to give you guys to the remaining we got about a minute. Let's get in a minute, because obviously, Larry, you already said Algieri has no power when he fought Spence. So do you think that Ward could do a similar, not Ward, but Berto could do a similar performance like Earl versus Algieri? Do you like that style matchup? What do you think about that rumor? I wanted to talk about that. I still might talk about it tomorrow, so definitely put your comments in the comment section below. Let me know. Give me the courage. Let's do this, just you and me, since these guys got to work. My work is this. Talk to me. Larry, what do you think? Berto, Algieri, you like it? Sexy? They're talking about Garcia Thurman undercard, so the TBV appreciation night is just looking sexier and sexier. What do you guys think?
Bonus fight. Go ahead.
Yeah, that'd be a perfect fight to have on that undercard, and the winner will get to carry on with their career. The loser takes a big step back, but it could go either way. I don't think Berto is Spence by any stretch, but would love to see the fight. Let's put it on the undercard.
I like the fight. It's a bonus fight under the Thurman Garcia fight, and like you said, Algieri has no power, but he avoided the power of Ruslan. And then now this is a slick fighter, so he might end the slick fighter. Berto knocked out Victor Ortiz, so he has that power to knock out Algieri. So yeah, I like this fight. It's a good one.
I hope it happens, man. I contacted Joe DeGuardia, the promoter of Algieri, and I texted Algieri. He still ain't get back to me. Jab him much.
That's why he ain't getting back.
Yeah, just for not getting back. Jab him up. But I'm trying to see what's up, because I like the rumor. I remember if you check our YouTube channel, I got interviews with Joe DeGuardia, his promoter, because there was rumors about this fight months ago. And I interviewed, John David Jackson, the trainer of Algieri, and obviously the promoter of Algieri, Joe DeGuardia. And they've always been interested in this one. So it's interesting to see what happens. We're going to talk about this for sure tomorrow morning. So TBV in the morning, without a doubt. If you're listening to this in the gym or wherever it is that you listen to TBV on your podcast, however it is, any podcast catchers, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, wherever that you catch TBV, drop those 5-star reviews. Always helps with the visibility. I am your host, NestGTO. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. You can find my co-producer, Steven, at
Calderon92 on Twitter, and you can find me on Instagram at sugar_steve.c.
And Enrique Church.
You can find me on TBV_casual fan. That's my Twitter handle. And Instagram, I am at Fight Talk Easy.
And Larry, the Patreon Don.
And I'm on Twitter, LDillon33, LDillon33. Appreciate y'all.
Larry, we appreciate you. Thank you for this show. This was definitely something that I wanted to do, so you pushed us to get it done. We appreciate you. And you guys, if you appreciate as well, hit those thumbs up. We'll see you tomorrow morning.